What's up everyone, I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions and I'm here in Calgary, Alberta. Contrary to popular belief, Bitcoin transactions are not anonymous and can in fact be linked to you in a variety of ways. That's why I think it's so important that users start taking advantage of easily accessible applications like Wasabi Wallet to help preserve their privacy. We're going to take a look at how to use Wasabi, what a Coinjoin transaction is, how to do one. We're also going to take a peek at Bitcoin transactions under the hood to help you understand how to eliminate some privacy compromising habits that you may have. Let's dive in. You can download the Wasabi wallet from wasabiwallet.io. If you scroll down the page, you can see they have versions for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS X. And once you have downloaded it, it will look something like this. Now, what you see on your computer could vary depending on what operating system you're on. It can also vary if Wasabi Wallet happens to roll out new features or new versions, but hopefully this video will hold up for some time without needing an update. So I'd like to draw your attention to the left-hand side. There's a number of menu items here when you get started. There is generate a new wallet. This is where you can create a brand new wallet from scratch. There's recover a wallet. So perhaps you deleted an old wallet. You have another wallet you'd like to import. All you need is your recovery seed, which you'll see in a second, and a password if you had one, and then you can give the wallet a name. Third, you have load wallet. So any existing wallet on your computer, you can see I have a temporary wallet that I've previously used. We're not going to be utilizing that one. We're going to be starting from scratch. You can test the password for your wallet here. So this is to make sure that if you set up a wallet, you want to make sure that you have the right password. You can test that before sending funds in. And finally, hardware wallets do work with the Wasabi wallet. So Ledger, Trezor, Cold Card. Now, there are a couple things to pay attention here. Currently, hardware wallets themselves are incompatible with Coinjoin. The reason for this has to do with the way that Coinjoin transactions work and the limitations of hardware wallets currently on the market, though this could change over time as new hardware comes out and new technology is utilized. For the time being, it's a no-go. And secondly, you can see down below here, just below where it talks about the hardware wallets, only BEC32 addresses can be utilized here. So what is a BEC32 address? Without getting too detailed, essentially it is a Bitcoin address that starts with a B. And if you have one of these, like in Wasabi Wallet, you can only receive funds from another Bitcoin wallet that starts with a B or a Bitcoin wallet address that starts with a 3. If you're looking at your wallet and it starts with a 1, that means that you likely need to use another wallet before sending funds into Wasabi. Some recommendations of wallets that I've done videos on that will work with this are Blockstream Green, the HODL Wallet, Samourai Wallet, and Electrum. The first three are for mobile, and Electrum is for desktop as well as mobile. So we're going to go ahead and generate a new wallet by clicking on that menu item on the left. And we need to name the wallet. So I'm just going to go ahead and name it BTC Sessions. And then I need to choose a password. And you'll notice as I type in the password, it will mask whatever I'm typing in with some fun characters there. Finally, I need to click I agree to terms and conditions, and then I click on generate. Now, what you're seeing here is a recovery seed phrase. Don't worry if you're looking at this going, I can't believe he's showing this to us. This wallet will be cleared out well before this video airs, and I will not be using it again in the future, so I'm okay showing these words here. Essentially, what you need to do here is write down all of these words. These are a backup of your wallet. If anything happens to your wallet or your computer and it gets deleted for some reason or the files get corrupted, you need this phrase combined with your password to access your funds. Please do not forget your password. It is very important, and I will write these down. I'll be back in a moment.
A few moments later.
Once you have written down all of your words, you can go ahead and click the button below, and you can see now that I have an additional wallet available here. All I need to do to load it up is click on the wallet I'd like to open, and I can either, actually first I'm going to test my password. So this is what this test password screen is for. If you type it in and hit test, it will tell you that you have the correct password. Now I can either load this wallet by clicking the load wallet down below, or clicking it in the left-hand screen, selecting my wallet, and hit load. It'll take a moment to boot up, and when it does, we'll be back to check it out. Once the wallet has loaded up, it will look like this, and if you direct your attention over to the right-hand side of the window, you can see all of your major tabs that you need to be able to look at. So, of course, you've got a few options here, but up top you can see the name of your wallet as well as the total balance in Bitcoin. Down below that, you have your send screen where you can send out Bitcoin from the wallet to an external wallet, your receive screen to receive Bitcoin, your Coinjoin screen to mix your coins and anonymize them, and a history screen of any previous transactions you've done. Furthermore, if you click on Advanced, there's a few more things. You can see your wallet information. You can see also build transactions and broadcast transactions. And this is for an advanced feature called partially signed Bitcoin transactions. We will not be covering this in this video, but I will be covering it in an upcoming video of the cold card hardware wallet. So be sure to stay tuned to that. Now, one other thing actually, when I clicked on advanced and I clicked on these options, it actually opened up additional tabs up top, which I can switch between. Now, these tabs can be shut down. In fact, if I went through and I were to close all of them like so, no big deal. And don't worry if you accidentally close a tab, because you can simply reopen them by clicking on those functions again in the right-hand column. So no worries there. And finally, let's just take a look up in the top of the window. There are the regular menu screens that you get in a typical application, and this shows you some of the options you saw on the main screen: generate, recover, load wallet, and so on and so forth. So we're going to go ahead now and receive some Bitcoin into this wallet. So all we need to do is we either click on the Receive tab up top or over on the right-hand side in that menu. Now we need to actually label the incoming transaction. Reason for that being is you want to be sure that your coins are sufficiently anonymized, and these labeling schemes help you do that. So I'm going to choose a pretty simple label for this one. So I'm just going to type test1. And then I'm going to click on the button that says generate receive address. And so what this does is it generates an address and auto copies it to my clipboard, and it also generates a QR code for me. So I can paste this address into really wherever I want, any wallet that I want, or I can use an external wallet like a mobile wallet to scan this QR code. And that is what I'm doing right now. Off screen, I've got a Bitcoin wallet that I'm going to send some funds from into Wasabi. So I'm just scanning it now. I'm using the Samourai wallet at the moment, and there is about 0.14 Bitcoin in it. And I'm sending it in actually two separate chunks, and there will be a reason for that when we see the transactions come through. So I'm just going to put this together, and I'm going to hit the send button. And in a moment, we should see this QR code disappear when the transaction is seen as incoming. And now that we've seen that QR code disappear, that address will never be used again, and we will always generate new addresses for each incoming transaction. So if I go up to the send screen, I can now see the amount coming in listed there, and I do now want to receive the second part of the remaining Bitcoin in that wallet to this wallet. So I'm going to type test2. Generate receive address. Again, that is copied to the clipboard. I could paste it in wherever I wanted, but I'll just keep this as test2. And if I click the arrow, I've got my QR code there. I'll scan it and I'll send off the rest. And now that it's disappeared, we can go back up to that send screen. Actually, if I did get a notification, I have two screens going. Normally that'll pop up in the right-hand side of your screen. But now we can see two incoming amounts in our wallet, and we can see it also in the history screen, as well as the Coinjoin screen. So we're just going to wait for these transactions to officially confirm on the blockchain, and when they do, we will be back to dive deeper into the wallet. Now that our transactions have confirmed, let's take a look around the screen to see what is in front of us. Now, first off, you can see that these are confirmed because there is a green checkmark beside each transaction, so they're confirmed on the blockchain. Secondly, we have this privacy column here, and if you hover, you can see the anonymity set. So what Wasabi has done is they've got a level of privacy rating beside each UTXO or each set of Bitcoin that has come into your wallet. And if you are sufficiently anonymized, this will have a green shield with a little check mark in them. And I believe that is set to anything above an anonymity set of 50. So we will be anonymizing these coins via Coinjoin. Now, I can also see these coins in a number of different screens, as I was saying before. Now, one other thing I'd like to point out is the difference between typical wallets and Wasabi wallets. So most wallets will show you your Bitcoin amount in your wallet as a single pooled amount, but that is a tad misleading. The way I like to compare it is that this kind of seems like it's a bank account. Like you have a bank account with a balance in it. There's no history of specific amounts coming in per se. It's just a pool of funds. But a better way to think of it is that Bitcoin is like holding an actual physical wallet. So if somebody gives you a $20 bill, a $10 bill, and a $5 bill, all of those amounts remain separate within your physical wallet. And that is the same as Bitcoin. Those amounts that have come in have remained separate and discernible. And both of these incoming amounts also, given that Bitcoin is on a public ledger, have a history to them that is auditable. So these amounts, if I had gotten them via an exchange or used them to pay for a specific service from either one of these amounts, and those services were linked to my name in any way, then that starts to paint a picture for outside observers of perhaps how much money I have and what I am spending my money on, which is not ideal for an individual that wishes to remain private. So that is why Coinjoin is so important, because of Bitcoin's publicly auditable nature. It is up to the individual to preserve their own privacy. Now, a few things I wanted to point out here. So as I was saying, we can see those coins in the Coinjoin screen, we can see them in the history screen, and of course in the send screen, as I mentioned before. Now down below in the bottom, there's some stats that you can see. You can see the current Bitcoin price, the number of peers I'm connected to, making sure that the backend is connected, and that Tor is running. And what Tor does is it helps encrypt your data and keep your IP address hidden. I like to double down on this myself. I like to use a VPN. I use NordVPN, and again, it helps hide your IP address and encrypt your browsing data to remain private. Congratulations, you are ready for your first Coinjoin. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Coinjoin tab, or if it's not open for you, you can again click over on the right hand menu there. And there are many different ways to select the coins you'd like to join. You can click on them individually, or you can use the options below. Select all, you can select all private, you can select all non-private coins. So a variety of ways that you can use these menus to select the coins you'd like to join here. Secondly, down in the right hand side, you can see a few things. Number one, you can see I need a minimum of 0.105 blah 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 Bitcoin, which is required to be queued up for Coinjoin. You can also see that there is a coordinator fee of 0.003% per anonymity set, which is that number here that measures how anonymous our coins are. Remember, we're aiming for an anonymity set of 50, but if you multiply that out, it is still a very negligible fee. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be selecting all our non-private coins. And those are the coins that we'd like to join. Of course, we only have non-private coins right now, but in some instances, you may have a mix. Secondly, I need to type in my password. And then last, I'm going to click in queue selected coins. As soon as I click that, I can see that they are queued up, and if you hover, it says this coin is waiting for its turn to be coin joined. Now down below, you can see the progress of the coin join, and that is measured by the number of people waiting in line, and you can also see the number of successful coin joins previously in the wallet. So we're waiting for one of two things to happen. One could be that 100 of 100 possible people join the coin join, or a certain amount of time will pass and it will just execute automatically with whoever's already to go with their coin join. I believe that time period is 10 minutes at the moment, but that could change as the guys at Wasabi figure out what's most efficient. But anyways, we will wait for one of those two things to happen, and once it has executed and finished, we will return with our mixed coins. Alright, it took a little while, but our coins have now been joined and anonymized. Now, as you're doing a coin join, you may notice some funny things happen with the status in the bottom right, and that could be just a matter of some people wanted to coin join, but perhaps they ran out of time, had to shut down their computer, and had to drop out of the queue. So the numbers there may flit back and forth, but do not worry. It will execute eventually. So we can see now that I have a different set of coins sitting here in my wallet. Now, if you notice, remember the minimum required, that amount there is the exact amount that anybody participating, in this case 71 people in a coin join, will be contributing to and getting out of the coin join. The reason for this is if all the amounts were totally different, it would be very easy to track who contributed and pulled out what, but if it's all the same, it helps obfuscate who contributed what coins, and that's what keeps it anonymous. So looking at the screen here, we can see that I have a couple different amounts. I have 0.105 blah 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 Bitcoin, and I have some change 0.036 blah 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 Bitcoin. The larger number has been coin joined and has an anonymity set of 79. So I was one of 79 people in the last coin join, whereas the change, if I hover over that, only has an anonymity set of 1 because it's actually a chunk of change that was originally in my wallet, and I just borrowed a little bit of that amount to contribute to the other larger amount in order to have enough to join the last coin join. And so this anonymous coin is quite separate from the de-anonymized coin versus the anonymous coin. I do not want to spend these together. Now, why is that? Well, if I were to say try to spend 0.11 Bitcoin and I needed to use the anonymous coins and then borrow a little bit from the de-anonymized coins, somebody looking at the blockchain would say, well, hey, these coin-joined coins along with these coins that belong to Ben, who purchased them on, whatever online exchange I purchased them on, they were spent together. So it stands to reason that he actually controls both these sets of coins, and I am no longer anonymous. So you need to be very careful with the way you spend your coins. Now, a couple other things about this wallet. You can now organize these by privacy by clicking on that column. And also, furthermore, down at the bottom here, you can also use these selections and it makes more sense. So if I select non-private, it will obviously select only the non-mixed coins, and I can queue those for a coin join if I do have enough. A lot of people will leave change in their wallet and let it build up until they have enough to Coinjoin. Furthermore, if I want to cancel my Coinjoin, I can hit the DQ button and it will pull me out of line for another Coinjoin. And now that our Coinjoin transactions are confirmed, we are going to practice sending out Bitcoin from the Wasabi wallet to an external wallet. Now, this is where we need to be careful with how we execute transactions, because remember, we have some anonymous and some non-anonymous coins here. These are called UTXOs, these little chunks of coins, unspent transaction outputs. There, you learned a new term. And so what we want to do is we do not want to mix these coins together, especially given that some are anonymous and some are not. If I were to spend these two together, well, somebody on the outside looking in that knew I owned the not anonymous coins would be able to see them spent together and then decipher the fact that I am holding both of these. So really simple to send out. You select the coins, you put in the address, and you send them out after putting in your password. But again, we do not want to send these together. So rather than selecting all, I would like to select just the specific coins that I'm sending out. It's always best to spend out a single UTXO, even if both were anonymous. It's not ideal to spend them together because if something happens that de-anonymizes you in some way in the future, you can mitigate your risk by keeping these separate. But if they are combined, well, then you've just de-anonymized all of your coins as opposed to a smaller UTXO set. So just keep that in mind. Some of these practices can be tricky, but you will get the hang of it over time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select only the anonymous coins, which I've clicked off, and now I need an address. Now, unfortunately, Wasabi Wallet does not have a QR code scanner. If you have a desktop wallet, you can copy and paste one in there, but I'm going to use a tool to scan really quick from my phone. And once I have copied that address, I can just paste it in. Then I'm going to, if I want to label it, I can. I'm just going to type in Samourai, and this is preference. Whatever you decide to put in there is fine. I'm going to send the max amount, so the entire chunk of coins that I've selected, and then you can slide your fee to adjust for how urgent the transaction is. You can see it estimates it in time, how long it is expected to be spendable. I find that Wasabi tends to overestimate this, which is just fine by me because it's a pleasant surprise if it confirms quicker. And finally, I just need to put in my password and then click Send Transaction. And so it takes a second to send out as it's signing. You notice that it disappears from the main menu there, and then I get a confirmation message down below that it was successfully sent. So now we can see that I only have the de-anonymized coins here, and it's also reflected in my balance in the top right. And I can see in the history that I have an outgoing transaction there. In the Coinjoin screen, only the change is left. Now, I should say here, if I wanted to send out less than the total amount in a particular UTXO, I could click that amount, paste in my address, and then specify a Bitcoin amount before entering my password and sending it out. So just keep that in mind. But more or less, that is it. Congratulations, you've done your first Coinjoin and mastered the Wasabi wallet for the most part. Of course, if you do have questions, let me know in the comments down below. And again, I do hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. And if you'd like to help out the show in another way, you can check out either of my sponsors. Number one, LEDN.io, where you can take advantage of Bitcoin-backed loans and savings accounts. Or, as discussed earlier in the video, you can check out NordVPN to get yourself a virtual private network to help further obfuscate your browsing habits. Links for those are both down below, and you get special deals with each. So thank you guys very much, and until next time, this has been your daily session.